Hello, welcome to Local Edition. I'm Leslie Leyton. Our veterans are returning to find a new normal, a harsh job market, and a world where they need to find a new footing. It's one of the things that Senator Lou Correa has been thinking about. He's with us now to discuss some things on the horizon. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Leslie. It's good to be here.
The veterans, when they return, it's really difficult to get things going again, and I think we all assume that the services are easily at hand for them, and there really is a huge gap.
Well, Leslie, let me tell you, I chair the Veterans Affairs Committee in the Senate of the state of California, and I like to look at the lessons that we have learned from our past experience, especially from the Vietnam War. Right now, California is home to the largest number of veterans in the nation. And we expect a whole lot more veterans as we start to bring down our troops from Iraq and Afghanistan. So the question is, how do we bring these folks back into our society?
What are the biggest challenges? Because there are so many aspects of this, from health care and education to the job market.
Well, if you look at the average citizen, what are the challenges that we have? Mortgage foreclosures, getting a job. The big one is getting a job for veterans. How do you integrate back into society? Mental health. What we're trying to do right now is make sure when they come back stateside that they have a job. And of course, with the unemployment rate as it is, the other thing we're trying to do is possibly getting them to start their own businesses, a veterans-owned organization, and have them tap into those government contracts, those set-asides, for example. We have construction. Whether you agree with it or not, the high-speed rail is coming. So we want to set aside 3 to 5% of those contracts for veterans. When you see a new school going up in your local neighborhood, why shouldn't part of those contracts go to veterans? So those are the kinds of things we're looking at doing for veterans.
You talk about the increase in veterans returning, and we also hear the complaints of the veterans that are already here are really short on resources. So how do we bridge that gap?
And that's the challenge that we have. But despite the fact that it is a challenge, we can't have it as an excuse. We have to make sure we take care of our veterans the way they took care of us. Some of the things we're doing, for example, the veterans that we have, homelessness, mental illness, trouble with the law. Orange County was one of the first counties in the state to have a special court to deal with veterans. And now we're rolling those courts throughout the state. But if you have a veteran that gets into trouble, and some of that trouble is related to them being a veteran, then we come in, we address their concerns, and try to get them help, medical, mental, get them into programs and move them on.
How are these changes going to be made?
They're already being made, which is essentially we designated a special judge in Orange County to do nothing but veterans issues. Social services, nothing but veterans issues. And at the state level, what I'm doing, I'm moving a package of legislation to make sure that we take care of veterans. Everything, again, from jobs. What about going to college? Make sure when they come back, the veterans don't have to reapply, get back in the line. We put them in front of the line and make sure that they get the services that they need to stay in school.
And those lines are especially long. We find some classes are being, some semesters are being cut in some local community colleges.
Well, when I went to school, I was able to graduate in 4 years. Today's, it takes 5 or 6 years because students can't get their classes because the classes aren't available. And what we're trying to do is make sure that the veterans, again, get to the front of the line. And we're also doing other things like, for example, the community colleges. UCI, Santa Ana College, actually have veteran centers where veterans can come in, hang out with other veterans, and get special services and special support so they can move ahead.
All right. Senator Lou Correa, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A lot to do, but together we'll get it done.
All right. Thanks for joining us. I'm Leslie Leyton.